Welcome to another episode of the Tower 26B Race Radio Podcast. I'm Joe Mitsky here once again with Coach. It's number 3.
Third time a charm.
This time it's intimate. It's just me and you. We don't have any third wheels to bring us down as we did last time.
I know. I mean, that was a lot of power in the last one.
Well, I get a lot of quality time with you. Before our last episode, we had Gordon Ramsay on. As our viewers across the globe found out, we had a record number of viewers turned into that video cast until today, when we're going to beat that number. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, tell all your friends, write in. Christoph is watching the comments as they come in, and if there's something important, he might relay that to us. We might answer it on air. How's that sound?
You got it.
That's ad lib. That wasn't in our script here, Jerry. So if something's interesting, Christoph, our producer over there, let's bring it up. But hey, speaking of, we didn't put any podcasts up this last month. 23,000 downloads already. What does that say about our podcast, Jerry?
Well, you know, it's evergreen, right? I mean, it's one of those things. It's the difference between doing a podcast or sort of a talk show on maybe political issues or current issues, and the moment the show is over, the content is stale, right? Here, it's educational, and until the techniques of training or swim mechanics change, these podcasts, the content, could be good for years to come.
It's true. So we're going to last for infamy. Infamy.
Some amount of
That's
time.
the word infamy. Audra Mallow's going to have to tell me what that word is. Infamy or something like that. But hey, we have new listeners. The United Republic of Tanzania.
Yes.
Ethiopia. Vanuatu. And Mauritius.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Mauritius. There you go. So if you're in Mauritius, write the phonetical pronunciation to Christoph. He'll bring it on air for us. Mauritius. So welcome to those and to everyone else who's been tuning in week after week for over almost 2 years now.
Around 2 years.
2 years, Jared. It seems like just yesterday. Speaking of, so we haven't been on this month. We've been busy. We've had a lot of stuff going on. In the meantime, we've had all these recent guests on in the shows in the past that our listeners have tuned into and paid attention to. And they've written me in the last 3 weeks. Hey, if you need another person to fill in for Jerry if he's too busy, Gordon Ramsay wrote me. Paul Newsome. Triathlon Taryn, Mark Spitz, all these guys are writing me. They want to sit in your chair. But one thing, Jerry, I'm not a traitor. I don't cheat on you. I would never bring anyone else in that chair. Just so you're safe.
Thank you.
You're safe, all right?
Thank you.
Probably telling
Well, same
people.
here.
Yeah,
I mean, we talk about this all the time. The show couldn't work. I can't carry the show, obviously. You've got the personality. And, you know, I know the swim stuff, so it works with the two of us well as it is. So there's no...
Exactly. I don't know what I bring to it, but hey, we bring something. Speaking of, what did we speak about last episode with Gordo?
Well, we had Gordon, and the interesting thing is that I learned a lot in that episode, actually, about Gordon's athletic background. I had no idea some of the things he talked about, so it was good to learn about his athletic background and get a different side of Gordon Ramsay that we're all used to knowing about, the chef side and the entertainment side, the celebrity side. But we've got a human interest story about him growing up and what it was like being an athlete younger, what the trials and tribulations that he went through, and then the weight that he gained once he got into his profession, working all the time, consuming lots of food, eating 320 or 330 pounds he got up to.
Huge, yeah.
And then decided to change his life, made fitness a part of his lifestyle, and did his first marathon, 5 hours, London Marathon. Mm-hmm. And then 2 years later, 3:25. I mean, he knocked off, an hour and a half off his marathon time, and he's run over a dozen marathons in the last number of years, and he got into triathlons, and so he talked about that. He talked about his foundation with his wife. It was a really Michelin stars. I mean, it was really a fun.
It was a fun episode. I had fun bantering with him. You know, let me tell you one thing. He's the host of a show. He runs a show. I kind of host this show or run this show. Battling back and forth with him. It was wit for wit. I found it fun. Pugilism, fighting, bantering. Good. It was great. No, it was a lot of fun. I mean, like you said, I heard so many people's comments saying, hey, I didn't realize he was such an athlete or he was so active. You see one side on TV, you see him, doing his chef thing on TV, and no one realizes what he's doing outside of that. So it was great to see that other side of it. It's
amazing, a 240-pound guy to run sub 330 marathons every year. I mean,
he's in dozens of them, and he's doing Ironman Barcelona beginning of October, so we'll be tuning in for that, and hopefully we'll get him on the show to give us a debrief on that race.
Sure.
What are we going to talk about this show?
Well, it's time. We're a tad late, but we're still in racing season, and it's important that we go through and talk about 2 workouts that I think you cannot miss. These are 2 sessions you must do, 2 open water workouts that have to be done every season, every year. And when you're in the season, it should be done multiple times. So normally we have a workout of the episode, right? So we're going to have one of these two, and then the other one will be the additional content for the episode.
Now, these workouts have to be done at a lake, an ocean, a pond, somewhere where you can get into the open water?
Well, they're open water workouts, but we're going to have one designed for the pool and then one designed specifically for open water.
Gotcha. So that's something we do every Wednesday. I assume we're going to hear some of these. If you're in town, Wednesday morning, 6 a.m., Tower 26.
We had 2 visitors there this week.
Yeah. We had 2 visitors this week.
Well, we had actually multiple visitors. We had 2 international visitors.
Yeah, so feel free to come on down. 6 a.m., Tower 26 in Santa Monica, every Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. And if you butter up the coach, he might invite you out on a Sunday morning to Manhattan Beach. But that's not Tower 26. We'll have to name our own Tower 26 down there. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about these workouts, Jer, and we'll test the listeners and see if they can execute these workouts and get back to us. You can email us, jerry@tower26.com. Is that still the email we're going with, Christoph? jerry@tower26.com. Email him there and to let him know how these workouts went. Let's get into it, Jerry.
So let's start with the easiest one to do from the perspective of it's at the pool, so you don't have to find an open water body. You go to your local swimming hole and you execute this workout. The reason we do this particular workout, and in fact, we've been doing this, I think we've done this 4 times so far this season, and we will do it another couple of times at least. It's very race specific. It deals with prepping you for your event. Doesn't matter the distance of your event, whether your distance is a very, very short triathlon all the way up through a marathon swim, 10 kilometers, okay? Good pool specific workout. So we start off, the warm-up is really important because this is something that you will carry to all of your races. Doesn't matter the distance. The only thing that may vary is that some race directors, as we know,
no warm-up.
Either not allowing warm-ups or some truncated time.
Some 200 meters up to the start line. That's your
2 or 3 minutes or so. So we have 3 segments of this warm-up. If you've got the time allotment, you do all 3. If you don't, you would do allotment number 1 or segment 1. If you have more time, you do segment 2. If you have fully 15 minutes, which is about what this would be, you'll do all 3 segments. So we start off with easy, segment 1 of warm-up, an easy 5 minutes. There's nothing, no bells or whistles to it. 5 minutes of continuous swimming. So if you're in the pool, you'll just swim 5 minutes. Now, this workout is also, this warm-up is also to be done on race day, right? Mm-hmm. So you will take the same warm-up here and apply it to your venue on event day. So it's 5 minutes of easy swimming, short break, and then you go into the second 5-minute segment. Now, if you only have 5 minutes, we only do the first segment. Mm-hmm. If your race directors allow more time, we go into segment number 2. Segment number 2 is going to be 30 strokes, and this is a stroke, 1 arm, 2, 3, 4. So you go 30 strokes easy, 30 strokes fast, 30 strokes easy, 25 strokes faster, 30 strokes easy, 20 strokes faster again, 30 strokes easy, 15 faster, 30 easy, 10, 30 easy, and we finish with 5. Mm-hmm. And each time you go from 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and 5, we're going a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. And we want to introduce some sighting.
Sighting, yeah, got it.
Into the fast strokes. So that takes approximately 5 minutes, 4 3/4 minutes to 5.5 minutes, and that just varies based on cadence rate.
Yep.
Once you're done, short break, and then we roll into the third portion of warm-up, which is the same thing that you just did, but now we invert it. Mm-hmm. We go 30 strokes easy, 5 strokes fast. 30 strokes easy, 10 strokes fast, 30 and 15, 30 and 20, 30 and 25, and we finish off at the top of the mountain with 30 strokes easy, 30 strokes fast, and again, having sighting introduced into the fast strokes. It takes about 15 minutes. You're pretty warm. Get back to the shoreline, get lined up and ready to start the race.
How soon before the race should they get out of the water to the shoreline? About 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
2, 3.
2, 3.
If it's possible. If it's possible. You have to size up venue, location, and so on.
Now, how vital is it if it's cold water? So Ironman South Africa, 70.3s this weekend, the World Championships, and the water is very cold. Should athletes be doing that entire 15-minute warm-up in cold water as well?
Depends on the water temperature. So it's a good question. And people have different tolerance levels for temperatures. We set some guidelines for our athletes that water temperatures are very low. Say 61, 62 degrees and lower, definitely 60 degrees and lower. We tend to not do very much in-water warm-up. We may just do a few minutes. We definitely always go into the water and do the head dunk and get rid of the ice cream headache. but we don't do a ton of warm-up in the water. We do a lot of land warm-up.
All right, so if it's very cold, truncate a little bit, but other than that, 15 minutes of warm-up, you should be able to do it. Malibu Triathlon is in 2 weeks. You got the whole expanse of the ocean.
Yes.
Get down there early and get it in, right?
Yep.
For any race there.
That's 15, 16 minutes of warm-up. Now we go into the main set. The main set, this particular pool workout, is designed for exactly what's going to occur on race day. What happens at the beginning of races? Gun goes off and?
As hard as you can go, just chaos everywhere. People swimming over everybody.
And no matter what somebody says, I'm going to go easy, you usually end up going at a high output.
As hard as you can go.
So if we don't train for that, then we're not prepared for it on event day. So we build this into our training sessions. So here's the main set. Depending on your level, now remember, you can go to our the website to see this workout.
Coaching.tower26.com. You'll see this workout there.
Correct. So what you're getting is the Group 1 version or the advanced version of it. If you're level 2, level 3, or level 4, which means you come down in ability level, you'll get all the tapered specifics of this this main set. 350s, fast, and what we refer to as faster is race takeout effort. And in percentage terms, it's 90% of maximum heart rate and up. We don't go below it. It's 90%, 90 to 95% of maximum heart rate. So it's very hard output for 350s, taking 3 to 5 seconds rest between each 50, or you can set a fixed interval. Example, fairly elite swimmers can go on or very elite can go on a 30-second interval for yards. Somewhat elite can go on a 35-second interval, that's sort of level 1 group. You want about 3 to 5 seconds rest. And the reason we set the interval, Jim, is so that you don't blow out that and suggest only 3 to 5 seconds. You don't blow out that first 50 and go all out and get 7 or 8 seconds rest. And then by 50 number 2, you can't make the interval. So we set an interval that's tough and tight, but we want to make sure you make it on all 3. So we're teaching you to manage effort just a little bit on the first 50 so you can sustain it through all of those 350s. So they're elevated 90%.
Are they sighting during these as well?
We can throw in sighting on these, sure. Absolutely. Gotcha. In fact,
and you find the more you do this, the first time you go execute this, you're going to screw it up. You're going to take it out in 30 seconds and the rest are going to be 40. You're not going to make your interval. But then you get the feel for what that hard but maintainable race takeout effort is, and you find what that interval should be. So don't get frustrated if you mess it up one time, because it takes a couple times to get the feel for that race takeout effort and what you can sustain through 3 to 5 seconds rest on those 50s.
And to your point, we've done it 4 times, and each time athletes have gotten better at it and have made the appropriate adjustments.
Obviously, I make quick gains though. That's what I do after one time.
So we do dive in, by the way, on the very first 50. So that sort of simulates the race start and the excitement that goes on at a race, and then you settle into that your consistency for the 350s. At the end of the third 50, on that interval of 3 to 5 seconds rest, you're going to go right into, in this case, I'm giving you guys a specific distance. It's a 300, but it will vary for the different levels. But we're looking for about a 3.5 minute duration performance where we lower effort now. This is sort of settle in pace to 85% of heart rate, which is the upper range of your aerobic system, right? So very strong upper aerobic effort because we're still in the first few minutes of the race and pace is still relatively high. But we need to train this so we become adapted to it. So 85% effort. Now what happens after that third 50 when we start off the 85% effort? Where's heart rate?
Oh, it's going to explode through your chest.
So heart rate's super high, but we've lowered effort to 85%. So perceived effort feels much higher than 85% because your heart rate's higher. So we just have to know, be patient, heart rate will come down during this 300 or this 3.5 minute distance. Heart rate will come down to 85% to match your effort. Just takes maybe a minute, minute and a half, depending on your fitness level. It'll match, and then you just sustain that 85% for your specified distance that's in the workout plan. That's the second segment of it. The third segment of it, what happens at times, Jim, during races when you've gone out at the beginning with the field and something happens where either you got dropped or you didn't quite make the pack that you want to be with, and we have to do a surge. Yep.
Get up there.
So the third segment is, now you've been swimming at 85% output. So after that 300, in this specific example, and your level may be a 250 or 200 for your distance, you have a 10-second break, and then you're going to go right into a 90 to 95% surge effort for a 50 only. Just 150. So anywhere from a 25 to a minute to 25 seconds to a minute or so of output, a quick surge to try and catch up to a group that perhaps you were spit out of, you didn't quite make, whatever it may be, or perhaps you did such a good job that you got ahead of your group and you see some feet ahead of you, another group that you can perhaps get onto. So there's your surge, you get into that group for that 50, and then you're on the feet. So after that fast 50, 5 to 10 seconds rest, and then what we do is a recovery 3 or 4 minutes of swimming. It's the end of the simulation. We're only simulating about the first 5 minutes of a race.
Yeah.
Okay? We got to get used to that high heart rate and that discomfort. We need to become familiar with that discomfort of what the beginning of these races feel like. So we build that into the training session. We get some recovery after. We bracket that and we multiply it. We do 2 or 3 cycles through, 2 or 3 repetitions through of it.
Go to coaching.tower26.com for that workout. You see the need for a workout like this if you watch the mass start of an Ironman.
Yes.
Everyone takes it out full speed, and by the first buoy, half the field's floating because they went way too hard, and then they have to stop, catch their breath, and then get back into the stroke.
Yep.
Just watch the mass start if they ever have those anymore. I know they're all rolling starts now. Watch the mass start of an Ironman, and you'll see 100 meters out, boom, everybody hits it, and then half of them just float for 5-10 minutes, just maybe even seconds, whatever, but just for a while to get their heart rate down and then get back into it. If we're practicing it, you're visualizing the race, you're putting yourself on that start line. When you execute this workout, you'll be ready and prepared to execute on race day all that much better. And what's the land start?
So that's our pool workout, right?
Yeah.
And that's something you should repeat several times during your racing season, so you become highly adapted to race takeout.
Would this be a good one to do race week?
You would back this up to probably 5 days out of race week.
5 days out.
If you're going to do this on race week, but you can. But we're going to do this. We're going to do this on Saturday in our workout.
There we go. So, I'll be doing it across the world.
That's
we'll
right.
Get into that later.
Yeah. So our second session, guys, is an open water workout. We've gotten lots of requests from this, from you guys, our listeners, and from many of our subscribers about specific open water workouts. So given that it's racing season and you're training, you're racing in open water, I'm going to provide an open water workout, and this is something that's scalable also. I'm giving you a big chunky session to do. It's going to take 75 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer for open water. But remember, this is a key foundation session that you would do a handful of times throughout the season. So let's get it on.
Let's do it.
You go to your open water lake, you go to your ocean, wherever it may be. What's the warm-up?
5-minute, 10-minute run.
We would do that, but once we get into the water, we're going to repeat what we just did. We do your 3 5-minute segments. 5 minutes easy, break, 5 minutes of 30 strokes easy, 30 strokes fast, and so on. So the same thing you did in the pool, we now use it in open water. 3 segments, takes about 15 minutes to get super warmed up. Now exit the water, get back onto the shoreline, and stand up. There's the water out in front of you. You're on the sand, on the pebbles, whatever it may be. And this is where it's advisable, and we've okayed this. This is where you can use your Garmin.
Yes, right? Garmin time.
This is Garmin time.
Yeah, there we go.
What I'd like you to do is design a course that straight out, perpendicular to the shoreline, straight out about 100 meters out. You're going to swim. Then you're going to make a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn, whatever the course allows you to do. But you're going to make a turn. That's in this case, in this example, let's make it a right shoulder turn. And you're going to swim approximately 200 to 300 meters, paralleling the shore. And then you'll make another right-hand turn and come back to shore 100 meters. So look at this. Start line, 100 meters out, turn, 200 to 300 meters across, turn, 100 meters back to the shoreline, and then you're going to jog back to the starting position. So 3/4 box.
Yeah.
And then jog back to the start. So we've set up this imaginary course. Obviously, if you have the opportunity to have buoys in place, that's more helpful. But at minimum, you can set your Garmin. Can't we set Garmin's to
you can set your Garmin
distance?
Count strokes too. I mean,
we can set it to strokes, or we can set it to distance.
Yeah.
So we want approximately 100 meters, 200 to 300 meters, and 100 meters. And the difference in distances would depend on ability levels. So I'm looking for about a 6 to 8 minute, 8 minutes at the most, 6 to 8 minute course distance. So for super elite athletes, 6 minutes would be a 500-yard course, 500-meter course. For beginning athletes, it may only be 300 meters, okay? 350 meters. So you go 100 meters out, 150 meters across, 100 meters back as an example. So you want something that's going to take 6 to 8 minutes. You have it set up, and here's the workout. You've done the 3 minutes of the 3 5-minute segments of warm-up. Now we go into the main set. There are 4 swims. Swim number 1. Start on the beach. Run into the water, simulating race start. On beach race entry. Into the water, and we're going to swim fast to the first turn, or the first 100 meters. And then make the right turn, and then you're going to shut it down, 70% effort the rest of the course. So only the first leg, fast, race takeout effort. Crossways and back, 70%, exit the water, jog back. That's circuit number 1. Rest, 2 minutes. Circuit number 2, line up on the beach again. Start off. And by the way, helpful having a partner or partners, plural, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, as many as you can get of similar ability, perhaps even a tad faster.
Well, Wednesday mornings we have 120 partners, 150
We have
partners.
a lot in our workouts, which is super helpful.
Yeah.
So similar ability friends. Circuit number 2, race start. Fast to the first buoy, fast to the second buoy, shut it off. 70% recovery, the last leg. Exit, jog on back. 2-minute rest. Guess what's the third one?
I'm guessing what the third is.
The third.
All fast.
So
Take it out.
very simple. All fast. Fast out, fast across, fast back. So you have a high performance 6 to 7 minute output. Exit the water, and we're jogging back or running back. So in these 3 circuits, we've done race start, race takeout effort, okay? High frequency of sighting, because we didn't talk about that, but we're going to integrate sighting. You're going to sight every 6th to 10th stroke. We'll never go more than 10 strokes. Remember, a stroke is a single arm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Never more than 10 strokes without sighting.
And even if there's not buoys, work the sighting in just to practice.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. So every 6 to 10 stroke, sighting throughout the course. So we got a race start, race takeout speed, sighting. We had a turn. So buoy turn practice, navigation, right? Race finish or water finish. Transition practice. You go from being horizontal to vertical, and what happens at that point? Heart rate spike.
Again.
Yes. So we got to get that simulated into training, and then we run back to the start point. It's just about 100 meters or 150 meters. It's a short run, but it's enough to simulate that extra heart rate spike that occurs going into T1. We've done all of that in one loop, in one circuit. And you've just done 3 circuits where you've built that effort. Number 1 was first leg hard. Number 2 was 2 legs hard. Number 3 was all 3 legs hard and then run back. And then the 4th one is going to be an all recovery. There's not a hard stroke.
Gotcha.
So that's it.
Finish it off.
Then bracket that. You're going to repeat it twice. But the second time through, the second cycle through, it's all going to be in-water starts. Because
most races now are in-water starts.
Many races are in-water starts. So we want to practice beach starts or land starts and in-water starts. And we keep it simple. We don't complicate this too much. Simple course, 6 to 8 minutes in duration. Yep. That's it. Multiple circuits. So in this case, it's 8 circuits. If it took you 6 to 8 minutes and you rested 2 minutes, it would be a total time of 8 to 10 minutes per circuit. So that's 80 minutes, 70 to 80 minutes of training plus your warm-up. So this is a chunky workout.
Yeah, big session.
If you had less time, we would truncate and maybe do only 4 circuits, 1 block of it. Yeah. And if you really had condensed time, you only do a few circuits, but you get the idea. You have a framework to work with here. And in this session, you're practicing all the ingredients. Race starts, high takeout speed, frequency of sighting, buoy turns. If you have partners, navigation, drafting.
Yep.
And if you have multiple people, learn to swim on somebody's right side. Learn to swim on their left side. Be 1 body length ahead. Be 1 body length behind. Practice simulation of different positions on the course with people around you so you're familiar with all different spots.
I always say full contact swimming is the way to go.
Yes.
Full contact triathlon. Those are good ones. Remember, go to coaching.tower26.com for the first workout. Is the second workout going to be on there as well? Or
the second workout is here only.
I'm going to put the podcast up so you go listen to it on iTunes and take notes off of that one too. But go there, and that's the workout of the episode, correct?
Those are the 2 workouts of the episode. But I think we need to give a full disclosure here.
Full disclosure, open it up.
That second workout, guys, is a very hard workout. It's challenging. You can do it. You will be able to do it. All of our members can do it. Even beginning triathletes can do it. But about 2 in the afternoon, if you did this in the early morning,
nap time.
It's nap time.
Oh,
I mean, it really hits you.
I slept for 8 hours yesterday after that thing.
So we need to do this multiple times. So maybe the first time we do it, it's 4 circuits only. And then we build up where you get through the entire 8 circuits. But it's something we want to do with frequency. And we do it once a week.
And bring
24
water
times
bottle with you with some hydration in there because you need it.
Yeah.
Especially in the salt water. All right, let's get to the questions of the episode. Remember, write GEROY at tower26.com. Our first question is from Alan Lopez. He's a subscriber, and he's written multiple times to us here, Jim.
Yeah, Alan's one of our favorites.
Hey, Coach, I've raced Ironman Lake Placid on July 22nd. I've raced and completed this twice prior with swim times of 1:17 and 1:16. What caught my ear 2 years ago when I started listening to you and Jim was you saying if athletes dedicate themselves to the 4 pillars, they could see a 10% improvement. I said to myself, man, if I could swim 110, I'd be so happy. I can hear him saying that too. Sunday, I swam 108.43 and I was fresh to the bike. I really need to figure out this cramping issue because I cramped in the calf and feet areas the entire second loop. It definitely affected my time, but I kept calm and tried to stay on feet. Thank you for everything. So there's his 10%.
Yeah. Alan, thanks for the write-in. And one of the things that we do here that I think we do well, if I can sort of self-compliment for a second, is we're very realistic. It's unlikely somebody's going to improve 30 minutes, okay? It has happened, but realistically, 10% is a good improvement. And in this case, you did approximately that. You put in the time, and Alan, by the way, is one of the guys, does all the workouts, listens to the audio file, loops back in and comments to the coaches. Followed the plan, executed it, reaped the rewards.
Totally bought in, and you see what's happening.
So congratulations, Alan.
Big gain. Nice work, Alan. Yeah. Allison Ziskind of Houston. Hey, Jerry. I was introduced to you through Triathlon Terran's YouTube videos and have gone and listened to your podcasts. You provide incredible content, clear instructions, and so much encouragement. There are times when I listen to your basic podcast and take notes. It's extraordinary education and very entertaining through Jim's amazing take on the podcast. Notice I wasn't mentioned at all in this,
I
Allison.
saw that all written there, too.
Thank you so much. I just left out. You don't just take the show by yourself here? 2 months ago, I started swimming again at the age of 45 and have been out of the pool for 30 years. I could barely swim 25 meters. With diligence and hard work, I'm now up to 1,500 plus meters at a time, and my most recent time trial was 2:23 per 100 meters. While this time would clearly stink for many athletes, I'm proud of how far I've come and look forward to continued improvement. I often hear your voice in my head as I swim remind me about my alignment, my head placement, my arm position, and I'm grabbing the water, etc. I signed up for half Ironman Waco in October and I can't wait. And once the off season begins, I'll absolutely be signing up for the Tower 26 coaching program. There's nothing else like it. Even the beginners in my tri club know who you are out here in Texas. Thank you for your dedication to sport and your passion for teaching at all levels. I hope you're blessed with unending success with deep gratitude, Allison.
It's a very sweet note, huh?
Very sweet note. Not enough mentions of the big guy, but you know what? I'll give it to you on this one. I take all
every so often.
Yeah, that's okay. No, it's a really sweet note. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison, for writing in. One of the things that stuck out here, firstly, I'm glad you've gotten into the sport and that you're swimming, and you have a race coming up in October, a half Ironman. What I want to encourage you to do, whether it's our program or any other program, get into some plan. Swimming alone is from a relative perspective, is low value relative to swimming with some group. So I would suggest that you find some program to swim with. Ours obviously is available, but there might be others also. Secondly, your 1,500 meters of swimming is too low. You need to increase your volume. Although you've just started, 1,500 meters is still low for being in for 2 months of background. You can start graduating that upwards. This is not running where you have to be as careful. We can actually increase volume and training load at a much more rapid rate. So that would be my suggestion, whether you do it solo or with a program, but get with a program, it's usually better.
Well, a lot of athletes also don't realize that our program, coaching.tower26.com, you can join at any time. We touch all the elements of our pillars in every week of sessions. So it doesn't have to be the end of the season, it doesn't have to be beginning. You can join mid and 2 weeks out before a race and be ready for that, ready for your level of training. Next question is from Lance Emerson. Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Jerry. I found your program on the Triathlon Terran podcast. My question is, do you foresee ever putting a week-long swim camp on, like Monday through Friday, maybe ending with a short ocean swim, if we can pass a safety swim check, of course? I know it's realistically hard, if maybe impossible, to teach proper swimming in a week, but for those of us who do not live anywhere close and are not able to move to California, but still be able to participate in and enjoy your program. Oh, there's more to this.
There's a little bit.
I love the info on the podcast. I'm amazed at the amount of passion and resolve you have towards teaching and treating everyone like it's your personal responsibility that they succeed.
I'm sorry. I did not realize. I thought it was more content related, but thank you anyway.
Yeah,
Lance.
right. You love hearing that.
Well, of course I do.
I love hearing that kind of stuff. You know? Thanks, Lance.
Yeah.
What's up with Taryn? I feel like he loves you. He hates me. I think maybe he's worried about his job. I'm a big guy. He's not promoting me enough. It's all Jerry. Yeah, look at this. I heard about Jerry on the podcast. Unbelievable.
We should do something
Taryn.
about that.
I'm going to talk to him. Believe me. He's in South Africa right now, but if he was in Canada, I'd fly up there tomorrow.
He's at Worlds.
Let's have a good one.
Lance, thanks for the write-in. And in fact, we are going to be doing several camps in 2019. But at the moment, they're going to be for our subscriber program only. It's a way to continue to build out our community. We'll be running 3 or 4 camps, Jim and I, and inviting our subscribers in based on ability levels and so on. And perhaps in 2020, or maybe we can do one in 2019 for non-subscribers. But we between our subscribers and our location-based plan, we've got many athletes.
Plenty of people that we're going to open up to.
So
gotcha.
for the moment, we're going to start with our subscription program and have the camps in Los Angeles at our location.
Start building that bunkhouse. Next question is from Joe Lauricella. I raced Lake Logan Olympic race today and had an incredible swim. I've been with Tower 26 for just over a month and having improvement after improvement in my swim, both in the pool and now in open water. Prior to today, my open water pace without a wetsuit has been 220 per 100 and my wetsuit has been 202 per 100. But today was different. 1,730 yards and 33.02, which comes out to be a 155 pace and a new PR. This was a lake swim with no current. I am just super pumped. Thanks to you, Jim, Jessica, for all the great feedback. I could not have done this without the Tower 26 program. I also took second in my age group, 55 to 59. That's some big success, Joe. That's great.
Joe, congratulations. Welcome to our plan. You've been there for several weeks, I think about 6 to 8 weeks. And you also, Joe is one of these guys that follows consistently what you're supposed to do. Do the workouts with frequency. Be present, okay? Listen to the audio files. Review the video files. And then comment into the coaches and let them know how you're doing so you can have a feedback loop and accountability system.
Accountability is
and
huge.
He's been doing that. You've had great improvements, so congratulations. Keep doing what you've been doing.
Gotcha. You want to read the last one on your native Trinidad?
No,
your countryman?
No,
I don't know. I can't speak Trinidadian. Is it Trinidadian? What do you speak over there? Trinidad? English?
Something like that. Something like that.
Marlon Sukal, native of Trinidad, living in Houston, writes, Hey Jerry, I'm new to the world of triathlon. I started last November, but have already taken on several sprints and one Olympic. I signed up for the Texas Oilman and Galveston 70.3. I came across your name through Triathlon Terran. Hey, he's got a lot of impact in this world.
Episode. He's
trying to take your job though. Remember that.
That's okay.
I'm a fan of his. I started watching an early video with you in a shop giving a lecture. It was breathtaking. Oh, I like that too. You're like breathtaking. That? That's amazing.
I wrote Trinidad, buddy.
You are breathtaking. I look at you take my breath away. I wrote everything you said down and started applying it. I also started listening to your podcast and writing down the workouts and applying them. My swim times improved from 2:30 swim now to 1:49, and my 1K went from well over 30 minutes to 25:24. That's a big improvement. Big. Not stellar, but I'll improve with training and dedication. So I finally took the plunge and signed up for the subscription program. I'm all in and taking it one event at a time and enjoying it. I'm 45 years old and love swimming my entire life. Now more than ever. I take lunch breaks at the beach where I usually do a quick swim before heading back to work. Can you give a few 30 to 45 minute beach swim workouts? My biggest challenge is balance, of course, with work, training, wife, and 4 kids. That said, I love tries and would love to plan one in our island of Trinidad. The Trini Try. He already has a name for it.
I guess so.
Also, any thoughts on expanding Tower 26 to Galveston, Texas? We have beach towers here too. Love your show and training. Keep up all the good work. I'm a huge fan.
All right, Marlon, thanks for your writing in, and great to have a Trinidadian follower. Living in Texas, fantastic. These are big improvements, like you said.
Huge.
I mean, this is massive
Huge.
for just listening in on the show. Regarding the specific question of you only have 45 minutes on your lunch break, we just gave 2 workouts.
Perfect.
You can do one at the pool, and then you say you go to the beach, you can go to the beach and do the other one, truncate it, do 4 circuits rather than 8. Should get that done in about 45 minutes. There are 2 workouts right there.
Done and done.
Yeah.
We'll get that Trini try going too. Well, there you go for the questions of the episode. Jared, what are we going to talk about next show?
Well, it's interesting. I've been chatting with Jim Vance, Coach Jim. You know Jim
Coach
really
Jim,
well.
I know Jim.
And Jim's coaching Ben Canute.
Yep.
Ben's racing this
Second
weekend.
at Worlds last year, right?
Got second at Worlds last year. So we've talked about having Jim on the show, and I'm trying to make that happen if time is, if he's available when we're doing the next episode. So hopefully we can have Coach Jim Vance, that's an incredible coach, and the coach of Ben Canute, so we can exchange
3 good coaches, 3 good-looking men. So we look forward to that. Let's get them on the show. If not, I'm sure we'll fill up the time with something else, right? Sounds good. Guys?
How are we doing on time?
We're good on time. Do you have one more thing you want to touch on, Jared? We had a right... Yeah, I remember this guy, all right? Very sure of himself. He's this guy, Tommy Alexanderson.
Yes.
Now, is this the original note that he wrote in?
This is the original note that Tommy wrote in.
Tommy is Danish, I believe, and he wrote this
Northern
note.
European.
He wrote this note, and we kind of got on him because he's very, very bold. Hey, Jerry, I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, and I love them. And it's not filtered by the industry. You keep them real. Keep them coming, please. I'm an active military service member and an age grouper, but with ambitions. 41 years old, so my train has left the station, but I'll see how good I can get, and I might go for Kona to chase that ultimate overall age group win and age win category. So ultimate overall age group win.
That's
right?
a lofty goal.
According to your levels, I'm a level 1 athlete. I used to be a swimmer back in the day, and I did go below a minute on my 100-meter freestyle.
So that's fast. Let's translate that. It's 52 seconds for 100 yards. So yeah, plenty quick.
Moving. Nowadays, I've been steady around 120 to 123 as my race pace, and with 3 to 4 swim sessions a week, averaging over 12,000 meters, I feel I should be faster or better. Overall, I'm doing 15 to 18 hours of quality training each week. I'm reluctant to buy general training plans since I sort of know what I want, what I'm doing when it comes to swimming.
Right.
I know what I'm doing when it comes to swimming.
He certainly does.
There's only 2 ways to get me going with your plan as I see it. Number 1, I become part of your project athletes, which takes me over the hump I have been behind for the last 2 years. Number 2, you give me a free trial to see if I like the program and the setup. So he's telling you the only way he's going to join is...
I get it.
Yeah. My race season starts this weekend with Challenge Rome in Italy, but my biggest goals for the season is to see if I can push the Norwegian long course distance record on a full distance 8:28 and ITU World Championships in Denmark in July. Looking forward to hear from you. Looking forward to taking the next step.
All right, so we read this on the air.
Yeah, okay. I remember it. Yeah,
and the conversation we had off air a little bit was, the tone appeared a little brash, right?
Yeah,
super high confidence.
Yep.
Which I actually enjoyed. But the reason I wanted to reread this again, Tommy, congratulations. The guy just won 70.3 Italy. Overall winner. Okay. Now, it wasn't a professional race, but overall winner at 42 years old. So 4:11 for half Ironman, 22-minute swim, 2:08 bike ride, and a 1:33 run. 4:11.
Well,
that's moving.
The confidence was justified. Yeah. There you go, Tommy.
So congratulations.
Now what you're doing is opening the door for all these other people to write in.
Well,
confidence.
I want to recognize, a lot of times we get, as you know, folks that come into our location-based program and talk about how great they are, right?
Oh, yeah.
And at times. And then the reality is much less than that. In this case, Tommy, you talked about how good you are, how good you want to be, and you deliver it. I got to tip my hat off.
There you go. Call it as you see it, sure. So appreciate that. And Tommy, congratulations. And to all the rest of you guys, congratulations. Everybody racing the Ironman World Championship 70.3 this weekend. Congratulations. If you're prepping for any other race, congratulations. Congratulations, everybody. Jerry, I think that's about it. Let's wrap it up. Facebook Live, thank you. YouTube Live, we will upload this on iTunes. Remember, keep leaving comments on our iTunes, reviews, 5 stars, whatever you want to do. Actually, I'm going to read an iTunes review in our next show. Remind me to do that. For all the rest of you guys out there, we'll see you next time. For Jerry Rodriguez, Christelle Balestra, this is Jim Levinsky, the Tower 26 B Race Radio Podcast.